I think this is a topic that should be talked about a lot more and should be normalized, men and women, but mostly to my young men. Mental health is something that should be taken very seriously. Not a lot of people would agree, and if anything, a lot of men, young men, try to hide their emotions. Now, I'm not here trying to say that you should just open up to anybody and everybody and just cry about everything. No. What I am saying is learn to deal with them, learn how to navigate life even when you feel this way. Understand that there is a way out. Understand that you can get out of this rut. What is depression necessarily? Now, if I'm gonna be honest with you, depression really can vary from person to person, but at the core of it, everybody has experienced that feeling at least once in their life. And it is very much a mental illness. But with every illness, there's usually a cure. So depression is no different. I believe that there is a cure for depression. Not only believe that, I've witnessed it because I've gone through it myself. And what I've seen when I've been going through depression and all that stuff, like I feel unproductive, I feel lazy, I feel unmotivated. I happen to procrastinate a lot and I just feel overall terrible. I feel so irritable. You don't want to do anything. And those are the side effects of depression. It almost kind of felt that my body was like on autopilot and it was just kind of navigating and floating through life. And I had no control over the steering wheel at all. Such an asinine feeling. And what made it worse while I was going through that, I had anxiety on top of that. And I know everybody's also experienced that feeling of anxiety. I know you have. We both have. That feeling of always worrying about the future, what's to come, what will happen next, that anxious feeling, just feeling so nervous. And for what? When nothing has happened. It almost felt like no matter what I did or what I was going to do, that just everything was going to go wrong and go bad. And I would just always think of what if this goes bad and what if this goes wrong, and just the most terrible outcome of any situation. So dealing with these two things was probably one of the most challenging things I had to go through in my life. But one day when I sat down and stared at my wall, yes, I sat down and just stared at my wall. This is not advice that not a lot of people is going to give you. Everybody tells you go see a therapist and stuff, but you know, I still genuinely believe you should go see therapists if you can. By all means, go. But what I did was I just sat down and just stared at my wall. I'm being so serious. Like, you might be laughing or might be thinking like, that's so weird. That's such a weird thing to do, just sit down and stare at your wall. But really, when I say this, I mean it. I was asking myself, why do I feel like this? Why am I going through this? Not in a rhetorical kind of way, but more so in a way that, how do I fix this? How can I find a solution to this? And then I looked how I was treating my body and my mental state. I was eating like garbage. I'm attached to social media and my phone 24/7. I'm not working out consistently. I'm not surrounded by the right type of people. I'm thinking about women way too much instead of my purpose and what I should do in my life to get better. And I'm not drinking enough water, and I am sleep deprived. So now, like, kind of looking at hindsight, of course, why wouldn't I have depression? Why wouldn't I have anxiety? These habits are not helping at all. These things, and not only that, I had also had past experience trauma from my childhood and even from my early teens. All of that was unresolved. So adding those bad daily habits on top of that, so of course, why wouldn't I be depressed? Why wouldn't I have anxiety? Why wouldn't I have a low self-esteem? And I presume you would too. So I highly advise you, just one day, just maybe not even one day, 3 days, just 3 days, whenever you can, just sit down and stare at your wall and really think to yourself what needs to be done so you could better yourself or you could get out your situation. I'm talking about mentally, because you can't even think about getting out financially. All you're going through is in your head. You can never escape your mind. That's the one thing you can never do, escape your own mind. So what did I do then? I started to take myself more serious, keep a promise to myself. I started to pray. I started to meditate. I started to journal. And most importantly, I surrounded myself with people that are also on that journey of just self-improvement and getting better and not being stuck in that rut forever. Why would you want to be that? Forever? You want to wake up every single day feeling like, oh, I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta do that. It doesn't have to be like that. So once I started doing those things, all of these feelings of depression and anxiety started very much getting reduced heavily. Now, I still had past unresolved trauma that I had to resolve, but that's all within. Why do I preach these practices of meditation, praying, journaling, and reading? It's because it helps you become more present. Depression really stems from thinking too much about the past and dwelling too much in it. And the same goes for anxiety. The reason you have anxiety is because you're dwelling too much in the future, while none of these two things don't exist anymore. So when you're doing these practices, it helps you become more present. So that's why those feelings of anxiety and depression very much get reduced. I want to emphasize too that you got to make sure that you set reasonable goals when you start doing these practices, because the thing you want to do is break those habits that you've been doing for 5+ years, God knows how long. You will not be able to just go cold turkey on it, because then that's how you do it for a week and then you break it and then you feel unmotivated and you're not disciplined and you won't do it again. So do reasonable things. Read for 30 minutes, pray for 30 minutes, meditate for 30 minutes, whatever. Start off with like 30 minutes each day out of the week. And then slowly as the weeks progress, you add a little more. You add 5 minutes. You add 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Next thing you know, you're doing it for an hour a day. All you're doing is being productive. All you're doing is focusing on what you got to do, whether that be school, whether that be your trade school, whether that be your career, your finances, your business, whatever the case is, the gym, whatever. Because the thing that will help you get out of the rut is seeing progress. That's the thing that will usually help you keep going. Yes, discipline is a big factor. Yes, motivation is a big factor as to your why. But seeing progress, seeing that you're doing this and taking yourself serious is going to be one of the driving factors why you keep going, so you don't feel stuck. Another thing too, I wanted to dive deep a little more, was how social media really messed me up. Because usually first thing in the morning, just looked at my phone. What's good with Instagram? What's good with Snapchat? What's good with TikTok? And it's just boom, bombarded with like negativity. Just like boom, this happened, somebody died, something happened to this person, and just so much negativity. Think about it like this. When you do that type of stuff, you are bombarding your brain with just so much when it's trying to just wake up. So think of it as like every time you step into your car, you turn it on, and then you're trying to go 0 to 60. As soon as it turns on, something's going to break. It's bound to mess up. Your brain is no different. So stop looking at social media. Stop looking at Instagram. It doesn't matter. Everybody's doing the same thing when you're waking up, looking at social media. So nothing has happened. Bro, nobody's going to be posting that they're partying at 6, 7 in the morning. And if they are, they've been doing it since last night. You're not missing out, bro. What you are missing out is on your mental health. And for all the young men out there that don't take their mental health serious and think that it's just some wishy-washy thing, bro, you're going to see the result of it in 10 years. How your mental state is going to be at. You have to be the person that you needed in your life. Become that person. So then your future children will not suffer for that. But it all starts with you. It literally just all starts with you. And I know that feeling, bro. So I empathize with you. But I also know that feeling of how it feels to get out. And I want you to experience that. That's it for today. I hope you have a blessed day.